Second.
Test 1, 2. Thank you. Mr. Bowman, Mr. Dudley.
Hey, Matt. Where at on the agenda? What number?
Good evening, welcome. Welcome to the Board of Supervisors business meeting Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, 7 p.m. Board meeting room, 39 Bank Street, Southeast Chatham, Virginia, 24531. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bowman?
Here.
Mr. Dalton?
Here.
Mr. Dudley?
Here.
Mr. Ingram?
Here.
Mr. Whittle?
Here.
Mr. Height?
Here.
Mr. Tucker?
Here. Would everyone join me now in a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Would you stand, please, if you're physically able? Let's say our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all so much. Let's see, colleagues, are there any items to be added to the agenda?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I've got an item to add to the consent agenda. This will be 7F, and make a motion to add approval of the base solid waste disposal agreement to the consent agenda. And that is my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Is there consent?
Second.
Thank you so much. Mr. Height, movement was second. We're going to add the solid waste agreement. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? All right, gentlemen, cast your votes. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Is there support for the motion?
Second that.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Moved met with second. We will approve this agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, cast your votes. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you so much. Let's see. I will entertain a motion now for the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion to approve the consent agenda with the additions that we had to it, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Support?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Movement was second that we will approve the consent agenda with the addition. Discussion. I need to work that out. Okay.
Gotcha.
But I'll get that done immediately.
Yeah.
We're good.
All right, any discussion? All right, gentlemen, cast your votes. All right, thank you so much. Let's see, that takes us down to presentations.
Yes, sir. We got several.
All right, you got a handful of them for me? right, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually one of our easier jobs or duties as supervisors, and one of more pleasant or enjoyable acts that we do. But tonight we want to honor Lieutenant Clyde B. East posthumously. So Mr. East, his family, and also this young man that called me and gave me all this wonderful information. Would you just come on up, please, as we read the resolution? Any of his family, you're welcome to come on up. And let me start by saying thank you for your father and grandfather's service to the country. Just turn around and you have a seat on top. Sit it in. Yeah. Hey, little man. How you doing? Do we have a chair for her? Yeah. Listen, let me digress. This gentleman called me and said that this should have taken place in 2010. I won't call the name of the supervisor that was in the seat at the time, but I want him to know I responded. I went and visited him and his lovely wife, and he asked me would I do this for him. So we're going to take a moment to honor the life and the legacy of Lieutenant Colonel Clyde B. East, United States Air Force, retired. Virginia, at the Pennsylvania County Board of Supervisors Board, May 20, 2025 business meeting, the following resolution was presented and adopted. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Clyde B. East, United States Air Force, retired, a native of Shiva in Pennsylvania County, was born and raised on the Coles Hill Farm, and exemplified true patriotism, valor, and sacrifice through his military service spanning over 2 decades. And whereas despite not having the education to initially enter the United States Air Corps, Lieutenant Colonel East's determination led him to join the Canadian Air Force in 1939 and fly Spitfires in the defense of freedom during the early days of World War II. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel East joined the U.S. Air Force Air Corps in 1942 and became a decorated reconnaissance pilot, flying a P-51 Mustang and participating in over 200 combat missions, accumulated more than 350 hours of combat fighting during World War II. And whereas he notably contributed to the Allied effort by shooting down enemy's planes, including the first German aircraft on D-Day, and later became Pennsylvania County's most highly decorated veteran. Whereas over his esteemed career, Lieutenant Colonel East earned numerous awards, including the Silver Star, the Distinguished Flying Cross, with multiple clusters, and the Air Medal, and with incredible 36 oak clusters, earning recognition in the Guinness Book of World Records from 1955 to 1956 for the highest number of repeat combat medals at that time. And whereas following World War II, Lieutenant Colonel East continued his service, playing a pivotal role in the Korean War with over 130 additional combat missions and further commendations. Whereas his service extended into the Cold War, including critical missions during the Cuban Missile Crisis under the direction of President John Francis Kennedy, reflecting his unwavering commitment to our nation's security and freedom. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Clyde B. East retired in 1965 after a distinguished military career and continued to serve his community, including volunteering at the Ronald Reagan Museum, where his medals are displayed as a testament to his heroism. Whereas his legacy brings immense pride to Pittsylvania County, and it is fitting that we recognize his contributions with a permanent and public expression of gratitude. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors, on behalf of the citizens of Pittsylvania County, hereby posthumously honors Lieutenant Colonel Clyde B. East, United States Air Force retired, for his exemplary bravery, service, and patriotism, and formally acknowledges his lifelong contributions to our community, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and the United States of America. Be it therefore further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to the family of Lieutenant Colonel Clyde B. East, given under my hand this 20th day of May, 2025. Yours truly, Robert N. Tucker, Jr., Board Chairman. And who's the daughter? Where's the daughter? You got your hands. This is presented on behalf of a grateful nation, a grateful state, and also a grateful county. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your honor of him. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Do you mind, this gentleman over here, I know he has something to say. He's never at a loss for words.
Amen. I want you to know that I was told I could talk maybe 3 or 4 minutes, so the one that I had prepared was about 15 to 20. I considered it a blessing and a true honor for the little bit of time that I got to spend with Clyde, because I married into the family. My wife is his second cousin, and there's all kind of cousins around here. But what I was going to say tonight, I cut it way, 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 way down. The information that Mr. Tucker has would have taken about 15 minutes to read. So I won't bore you with any more of that, but I thank you, the board, and what I would like to see is a permanent monument of some description. And I think Clyde really deserves that. One of the things that he wanted to do was go to the Tank Museum, but every time he came here, he had so much going on that I never did get the chance to take him to it. And I really regret that, but there's nothing we can do about that now. But I want to thank you for the resolution, and hopefully this will lead to some type of monument.
Okay. Thank you so much. Anyone else from the family, grandchildren? If not, sir, you're quite welcome. All right, time for pictures. I think they locked this thing down. Thank you. Okay. Our next recipient, after Jesus washed the disciples' feet, he says, the nature of our relationship just changed. He said, I no longer call you servant or disciple, but now I'm calling you friend. So this gentleman is a friend of mine, friend of my family's, and a credit to the community. Mr. Robert Gilbert and his lovely wife, would you come on up, please? Okay. And also, I want to recognize his pastor and the first lady out there at Cherrystone Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend Rodney Forrest and Miss Denise Forrest. God bless you and thank you for being here this evening. And we salute and celebrate you, Mr. Gilbert, because your restaurant is a landmark here within Chatham, Virginia, and also the county, and has been included in the Historical Society. So we just wanted to recognize you, your family, and those contributions. Honoring the designation of Gilbert's Restaurant to the Virginia Landmarks Register. Virginia, at the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors Board, May 20, 2025 meeting, the following resolution was presented and adopted. Whereas the Department of Historic Resources has officially named Gilbert's Restaurant, located at the corner of North and Lynn Streets in Chatham, Virginia, to the Virginia Landmarks Register on March 2025. And whereas Gilbert's Restaurant, originally constructed circa 1945 by the Reverend Robert Gilbert, I remember him, very nice, served as a vital community hub for Black residents during the Jim Crow era, offering a safe and welcoming space as a gas station, store, tourist home, and cafe. And whereas Reverend Gilbert, a beloved pastor and community leader, established the space as a safe harbor for those fighting injustice, and it remained a beacon of resilience, entrepreneurship, and civil rights advocacy in the face of segregation, systemic inequality. And whereas in 1971, the restaurant was passed on to Reverend Gilbert's son, Bob, and daughter-in-law, Sandra, who continue operating it as a restaurant until 1999, offering not only beloved Southern cuisine, but also enduring sense of hospitality and cultural pride. And whereas throughout its years of operation, Gilbert Restaurant played host to Black teachers, entertainers, civil rights groups, and the NAACP lawyers, serving as a haven of support, empowerment, and social progress during a critical time in American history. And whereas this landmark holds deep historical, architectural, cultural, social significance, symbolizing the legacy of Black entrepreneurship, women's economic independence, and the relentless pursuit of justice and equality in Pittsylvania County. Whereas the inclusion of Gilbert's Restaurant on the Virginia Landmarks Register not only preserves the building's physical structure, but also ensures the enduring remembrance of the lives, struggle, triumphs it represents. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors hereby recognize and honor the designation of the Gilbert's Restaurant as a Virginia landmark and commend the legacy of Reverend Robert G. Gilbert, Bob and Sandra Gilbert, and all who found solace, sustenance, and strength within its walls. Given under my hand this 20th day of May, 2025, Robert M. Tucker, Jr., Chairman. Congratulations, and thank you so much. If the pastor and his wife want to come on up, we can get some pictures with you all too.
first of all thank the Board of Supervisors for this magnificent honor, and we appreciate it. My wife and I never expected it, but we certainly appreciate the attention Gilbert has gotten over the years. I accept this honor in honor of my dad and my mom, who started it some 80-some years ago. And of course, my wife and I, we were the ones who took it over once they retired back in the 70s, and we've enjoyed writing. But I wanted to say, we have some other good news. Since this was made, since the announcement was made about being listed on the Virginia Registry, just as of last week or 2 weeks ago, we're now listed on the National Register. So Gilbert's Restaurant on the corner of 401 North Main is now known and listed as not only Virginia, but in the National Registry of Historic Places. And God be the glory. And I want to say, too, there are two people here that I mismentioned that really helped us get to this point. And one is continuing to go further because we're now trying to get a marker to be placed in front of the building and also some money to restore the building. That is now an effort on the way. But I must give Dr. Ena Dixon, could you just stand? She has been, and her father, Rick, have been behind us all the way and doing the marvelous work. And Katie Whitehead is also here. Katie's involved in a lot of stuff, but Katie was one of the ones that got the ball rolling because I had sort of given up on, I know at one time before COVID we were talking about some things that might lead to this, but after COVID it sort of dissipated. But now Katie reminded me that we accidentally bumped each other at the hardware store, and Katie reminded me that no, there's still hope. Hope is still alive. And I thank you, Katie. And I'll never forget Ena, she's still working. So I thank you both, but you're really a part of it. I'll get this in your honor also. Thank you.
Mr. Short. Okay, even though I would love to make this presentation because this gentleman is very, very special to me and also to the county, but I'm going to digress and allow our senior board men, Mr. Dalton, Mr. Ingram, and also Mr. Dudley to come up and make this presentation. Thank you so much.
I appreciate the advance notice in doing this. I'm just messing with you. Yes, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Pennsylvania County Board of Supervisors Resolution 2025-05-07 Resolution of appreciation and recognition for exemplary service, and I'm going to ask him to come up at this time, Mr. Vincent Shorter, as interim county administrator. Let's give him a hand as he comes this way. This is a surprise to you and me, and but he's done a wonderful, wonderful job for the county, and I'll go ahead with the resolution. Virginia, at a meeting to the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors Board on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, at the board meeting room, 39 Bank Street, Chatham, Virginia, 24531. The following resolution was presented and adopted. Whereas Mr. Vincent E. Shorter, MGT Shorter, has served Pittsylvania County with unwavering dedication and distinction as interim county administrator, stepping into the role during a critical period and providing steadfast leadership to the county. And whereas throughout his tenure, Shorter demonstrated exceptional professionalism, integrity, and a genuine commitment to the citizens and staff of Pittsylvania County, fostering a culture of transparency, accountability, and collaboration. And whereas Shorter's diligent oversight and effective management ensured the seamless continuation of county operations, navigating challenges with skill and maintaining the county's commitment to excellence in public service. And whereas his ability to lead with both compassion and decisiveness created a positive and stabilizing influence on county departments, promoting efficient operations and encouraging a spirit of teamwork and cooperation among county staff. And whereas the Board of Supervisors acknowledges and appreciates Mr. Shorter's selfless dedication, tireless work ethic, and exemplary service, which have left a lasting impact on Pittsylvania County. And now therefore be it resolved that the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors hereby expresses its sincere and heartfelt appreciation to Mr. Shorter for his outstanding contributions as interim county administrator, extending its best wishes for continued success in all future endeavors to maintain the values and excellence, integrity, and service that he's exemplified. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Mr. Shorter as just a small token of the county's gratitude and a permanent record of his dedication and dedicated service. Given under my hand this 20th day of May 2025, Robert M. Tucker Jr., Chairman, Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors, Kaylin M. McCluster, Clerk, Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors. And I will just add on a personal note, you know, Mr. Shorter and I, when he first came on board as our interim, we've had several meetings, and I have been open to sitting down and discussing with him and working some things out, working through some things with him. He's met me in Alta Vista. We met in various places, and I will say that it has really been a big growth in our relationship and a big change. And he's opened my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't see before. And I just want to tell him publicly that we really absolutely appreciate you, Mr. Shorter. And you're well worth this, what we got right here. So I'll give that to you. Y'all gentlemen will step up. Yes, sir.
I have the honor of presenting you with a plaque, but I'll also add the best is yet to come. This is just for the interim part. And your plaque here reads, the Honorable Vincent E. Shorter, MGT, in grateful recognition of your dedicated service as interim county administrator for Pittsylvania County. Your steadfast leadership, unwavering commitment, and exceptional guidance during this period has been invaluable to the Board of Supervisors and to the citizens of Pittsylvania County. Your efforts and dedication are sincerely appreciated and will not be forgotten. With gratitude, the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors, May 20th, 2025.
Well, I wish my Boy Scout leader, Tom Lewis, that was sitting on the front row that came up earlier, were still here. Because this is the first time in my life, as he would attest, that I'm at a loss for words. Anyone that knows me, that's usually not my shortfall of the gift of gab. But I'm truly honored. I'm speechless. Start my 10th year with the county. I thought I knew what the Board of Supervisors did, but until you get in the trenches and you're in the elbow to elbow, you don't know and realize, even working for the organization, the commitment and dedication and the time commitment away from their homes to represent the best interest of all of us and to move this county forward. These are truly honorable men, and I don't say that lightly. And they are serving this county well and moving us forward. And thank you is not the proper word, but that's all I have right now. It's just thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sorter. No, actually, I should have one more to recognize tonight. However, there's a 90-plus-year-old man that's still out there fighting fires, and he's probably on a call. That's why he's not here tonight, but we want to recognize him in our June meeting. That is phenomenal, and we will unveil and reveal who that gentleman is. But after the tender young age of 90, he's still fighting fires. Amen. Thank you all. That's all. All right, that takes us down to item number 9, hearing of the citizens. Each person addressing the board on the hearing of the citizens shall be a resident or landowner of the county or the registered agent of such resident or landowner. Each person shall step up, give his or her name and district in an audible tone of voice for the record. And unless further time is granted by the chairman, shall limit his or her address to 3 minutes. No person shall be permitted to address the board more than once during the hearing of the citizens. All remarks shall be addressed to the board as a body and not to any individual member thereof. Hearing of the citizens shall last for a maximum of 45 minutes. Any individual that is signed up to speak during the said section who does not get the opportunity to do so because of the aforementioned time limit shall be given speaking priority at the next board meeting. Absent chairman's approval, no person shall be able to speak who has not signed up to speak. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up?
We do. Kathy Ramsey,
Ms. Ramsey, come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Kathy Ramsey. I'm from the Bannister District. Tonight I'm here to represent someone from the Bannister District that could not be here, and I was asked to read this for them. So I'll read it like I have it from them. And it says, "Time to Speak Up, Robbins Court," by Margaret Brackens, homeowner on Robbins Court, Chatham, Virginia, 24531, Bannister District. And I'm reading it for her. When I say I'm representing her. "I am taking up this petition because for far too many years we have dealt with bad, dirty, and lead-filled water, plus low water pressure, a tank as old as the neighborhood, 50-plus years. My understanding is there was a grant given to fix our water problem on Robin Court. We observed as they initially brought in a new tank to begin work. However, they subsequently removed the tank and never returned. It has been several years since then. Still, they have not fixed the problem. We have spent a ton of money on buying water and drink, cleaning products to clean our toilet tanks, among other things. I have spent money on house filters, which has been a waste because mud gets in and does not work in months' times. Plus, we pay our water bill. It is making us sick. It is destroying our water tank, our pipes, and everything. I feel that some kind of monetary compensation should be given to the residents of Robbins Court due to the expense of trying to maintain health and wellness of residents, which includes past, present, and future purchases of water. I would like to know what happened to the grant money and who decided that someone or something else was more important than us and our health. And you have before you a copy of that petition, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Ramsey. I'm going to break protocol right here because I've been dealing with this water issue for a couple of days, and that's why you elected me in the Bannister District, because I make things happen. I've gotten with the board, and we're going to actually provide drinking water in the form of bottled waters to that community. And we're going to task the staff with going out, i.e., Mr. Adcock, and figure out how many homes are affected and figure out how to get bottled waters to that community. I met with the residents this morning. Money was not misappropriated, and I want those viewing us by way of Facebook to understand that there were two different tranches of money. The money that was supposedly, people are saying, was misplaced, was not misplaced. The money was actually ARPA funds that were provided by the federal government through the infrastructure bill by Mr. Biden. And there was a project going on Horseshoe Road, and also under consideration was the properties that are in question. As I understand it, the county could not do both projects at the exact same time. We got with staff, and let me just say that was prior to my coming on the board, okay? And I think the Finance Committee in 2021, they determined that it was better to complete one project and then reapply for a grant, which we did. We secured a $905,000 grant from the Virginia Department of Health, which we are in the process right now of making the actual install, which means that you can't go out and just stick a shovel in the ground and just make things happen that way. You have to do studies. to be in compliance with the state, you have to also make sure that you have engineering work done. It has to be advertised for 2 weeks, and these are all state conditions. And then once we get that behind us, our hope is that we can actually put this out to bid, start the work possibly in July, and then we're looking at, according to staff, maybe 100 days to get fresh drinking water out to Robin Court. But Ms. Ramsey, thank you so much. All right, anyone else signed up to speak?
Yes, sir. Jerome Adams.
Mr. Adams. Thank you, Mr. Adams, for being here.
My name is Jerome Adams, resident of Tunstall District. Thank you, Mr. Tucker, and the chairman of the board.
Yes, sir.
Members
Thank
of the
you.
board, for allowing me to speak this afternoon concerning public safety operations in Pittsylvania County. As a volunteer, I have been a member of the Cascade Volunteer Fire Department for better than 25 years, and today we cannot compare volunteers today as we did 25 years ago. The availability of volunteers, the willingness to serve as a volunteer, the economic conditions, and the general challenges that average families face today are different than what they were back then. Pittsylvania County has completed 3 studies and evaluation of public safety systems during the past 24 years. The first completed in 2006, the second in 2015, the most recent study done in 23-24 fiscal year. It was disturbing to hear, according to the previous studies and the most recent studies, that many of the problems and deficiencies that still exist even after recommendations were conveyed to the Board of Supervisors as a result of those studies. I commend the Board of Supervisors on action taken for the enhancement of public safety in recent years and the action taken by the current Board of Supervisors. It is realized that the board has taken steps to inject greater support for the volunteer agencies that have served the citizens of Pittsylvania County. By doing so, specific areas of the general operational costs now being offset that allows a percentage of funding to be utilized in other areas of expenditures, such as preventive maintenance and required annual equipment testing and certification are examples of what the board has done to help or aid in that area. Since implementing a stipend program in 2021 for the Cascade Community Volunteer Fire Department, that similar programs are being used by other agencies in the county. The soft billing revenues generated only covers a small percentage of costs when applied only to a stipend allocation that does not include overall maintenance costs such as base repair of equipment, vehicles, capital outlay costs, and other key elements of costs for services provided. Getting trained and certified ALS and BLS staffing and other qualified members are now extremely difficult to attain and retain. During the first 10 months of our current fiscal year, July 1, 24 through April the 30th, 2025, you have a copy of an item I presented to you. Billing funds, from the soft billing funds, we actually have acquired $22,642.79. Our payroll net was $42,642.38. The federal taxes amounted to $8,146.22 federal state taxes. Contracted service was $5,655.99, which meant our total cost for this period was $56,444.59, left us a deficit of $33,880,
3 minutes is complete.
thus requiring subsidized funds from the general fund. January was the only month that we did not experience a deficit in the funding
Mr.
was
Adams.
realized.
Mr. Adams, you're going to have to wrap up.
All right.
Thank you.
Wanted to let you all know that the Fire and EMS agency provides services for Pittsylvania County. Look to you, the Board of Supervisors, to provide the guidance and resources that are critical for the future of the public safety system. The ultimate responsibility for public safety lies with the County of Pittsylvania County, not your volunteers. Your utmost attention and actions taken regarding the public safety system issues we face now are crucial for the agency and the citizens of Pittsylvania County. Thank you again for allowing me to speak to the board in reference to the EMS or the stipend public safety system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. And we give you leniency, sir, because you go out there and run them calls voluntarily. Thank you. Anyone else signed up to speak?
Katie Whitehead.
Ms. Whitehead, welcome, good evening.
Katie Whitehead, Chatham Blair's district. As you know, Pittsylvania County has a draft new zoning ordinance completed by a consulting firm at significant cost and investment of time and effort by the board, planning commission, county staff, and residents. For some reason, the date for approval of the final draft was delayed until August. A couple of weeks ago, Cardinal News reported the possibility of further delay while the county overhauls the comprehensive plan. I strongly urge you to avoid further delay and adopt as soon as possible the new ordinance that the county has been working on for 3 years. Updating the zoning ordinance is urgent for at least 2 reasons. Number one, we know it is out of compliance with state law, and the Community Development Director has been recommending a thorough rewrite since she was hired in 2020. It's been 34 years since it was first adopted. The board made a deliberate and wise decision to prioritize updating it. Number two, the existing ordinance does not include regulation of power stations. The draft zoning ordinance has a section that would require a special use permit for power generation in industrial districts. An important lesson available from the county's experience with Balico is that we should anticipate proposals for power plants and that they can have major health impacts on residents living near and far from a plant. I have 3 requests. 1, pass the draft zoning ordinance. It is better than our current outdated ordinance, and you can always amend it. If down the road you find it requires changes to conform with a new comprehensive plan, you can change it. 2, if you insist on continuing to delay, explain why. Stating some ideal about zoning regs should follow comprehensive planning does not address our real situation in which the current ordinance is so outdated and an update has already been carefully worked through, ready for adoption. 3, if you delay adopting the new ordinance in its entirety, at least adopt the section on power stations. You know that proposals are coming. There's no excuse for not being prepared. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Whitehead. Who's our next speaker? Madam
Gage Dillon.
Mr. Dillon, come on up. Good evening and welcome, sir.
So I was actually going to ask if it was all right if Mr. Joseph Harrison went before me. It was just kind of a mistake. We're here on the similar issue. It just would make a lot more sense if he opened.
He's
I was
next
here
on the
for
list.
support.
So
He's next on the list.
That's up
Yeah.
your discretion.
Okay, we'll juxtapose. Come on up, sir.
Thank you.
And it's Mr. Arrington?
Joseph Hairston.
Harrison. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Harrison, and good evening.
Hello, Board of Supervisors.
Yes, sir.
My name is Joseph Harrison, and I live at 263 Tilton Lane in Cascade, Virginia. I am before you all because we have this pit bull dog problem. I thought Pennsylvania County could.
Hang on, Mr. Harrison. Just 1 second. We're going
Get in that mic.
we're going to try to help you out with the mic.
Okay, yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do I need to start from the beginning?
Put some time back on this clock and let's start over.
Sounds good.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
We got you.
I am before you all because we have this pit bull or dog problem. I thought Pennsylvania County had someone in position that could solve all normal problems of its residents. For a mile down Tender Lane, it is about 5 or 6 houses, and we are close-knitted. We are all friends, but there is one house that was for rent. They rented, and these people rented it. They have or had approximately 3 children, some in diapers, and adults. And I thought I had seen maybe 3 or 4 dogs, but next door neighbor said they had. Next door neighbor said they had, well, 9 dogs, actually, matter of fact. Someone in the either police or health department counted 9 dogs in the house, where the dogs slept inside with the children. Night, my problem is one of these dogs is a pit bull. We don't know just when, and we are going to walk out of our house, and that dog began to bark at us and jump at us. I called animal control, and they told me it wasn't anything they could do. Said that we could file for a petition for a leash law, and a leash law. We have done that.
30 seconds remaining.
I asked animal control, if I shot that dog, what would be the penalty? And he told me real loud and clear, you would have a felony. It seemed as though he got angry because I spoke about shooting that dog. So I called Mr. Ingham's house, and I didn't get a return answer. I wrote a letter to the board of supervisors. Well, what we would like to do is someone do something about this dog. We've had this problem for about a couple of months. When we walk out our door, we don't know whether that dog will jump at us or not. And animal control told me that there's nothing they could do. It seemed as though I thought Pennsylvania County was better organized than that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Yes. Young man, would you come on up? Thank you for being here again.
All right. I appreciate you guys. My name is Gage Dillon. I live at 281 Tender Lane. I live right next door to Mr. Joe. Basically, the dogs is in question. It has kind of troubled the entire neighborhood. I was getting my daughter on the bus one morning, and before we could even make it all the way up the steps, the dog has ran around, charged at us, and it almost bit her. I mean, that morning. Called the resource officer. I myself called animal control, and I think it's just the ordinance. If we could get an ordinance in place, something that makes it to where they can't just keep getting away with it, I think that'll help. Because the officer, they want to help, but they can't really do anything if it's not against any kind of ordinance rules or something like that. But these dogs, they do run at large. Occasionally they'll be in our yards. Occasionally they'll be in other people's yards. barking, growling, chasing people that, walk up and down the street. But again, it just doesn't seem like much we can do. So what I ask is if we could work towards a solution that, once these people move, that just stop anybody from having to deal with this within reason, or, just kind of stay on communication and work together to get this resolved. That's all I ask.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, who's our next speaker?
Anna Farrar.
Ms. Farrar? Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Anna Farrar, a resident of the Tunstall District at Whitetail Avenue. Again, I come to you tonight disappointed, frustrated, and concerned. My husband and I purchased 10.5 acres from Kenneth and Brenda Bowman in March of 2018. When we purchased this beautiful property, we were informed by the Bowmans that the road, Whitetail Avenue, was part of the VDOT 6-year plan and improvements would be made. Whether this was just misleading information or not, we were under the impression that the gravel road that is Whitetail Avenue would receive some type of improvement over the next 6 years. 7 years have gone by and the condition of the road has become horrific. Our local UPS driver, Toby Reese, described it as the worst road in Pennsylvania County, and 35 families that reside there could not agree more. My disappointment comes from speaking with neighbors and reviewing years of board meetings, only to find that so many residents from Whitetail Avenue have come to this board multiple times asking for help. It is stated in May of 2018 that residents have been trying for 20 years to get on the list to get their road paved. In July of 2013, it is noted that VDOT presented the 6-year plan and Ms. Bowman asked that Whitetail Avenue be included, and it was approved by the board. It's 2025, and the only thing that has changed is that disappointment has now turned into frustration. My frustration comes from reaching out to state legislators only to be referred back to the local level, this board. I reached out to Mr. Ingram back when we first moved in and then again last year. He responded that VDOT required the residents of the road to pave it 16 feet wide with proper drainage and then it would be taken over by the state. Can you imagine as a tax-paying resident being told that you need to come up with the money to pave a road that's more than a mile long? You would be infuriated just as we are. There are currently 35 families that use Whitetail Avenue daily and paying in an estimated $35,000 in just real estate taxes annually on properties with a tax assessment totaling well over $5 million. It is very frustrating that we are paying in the same taxes that everyone in Pennsylvania County are paying, and we are forced to travel a road that is in such bad shape that it causes damage to our vehicles that we are also paying property taxes on. Mr. Ingram agreed, quote, "It is a shame that this has gone on this long, but the 6 years in its essence is a good idea, but for folks like you guys who've been in limbo for years, there has to be an end in sight," end quote. My concern, not only for my own family of 6, but for our neighbors, is that when there is an emergency that requires ambulance fire engines, they will not be able to reach us in a timely manner due to the condition of the road. I have worked in the medical field for 24 years and know the importance of time in life and death situations. There is no doubt when there is an emergency, those rescue vehicles will be slowed tremendously by the conditions of our road. Once they are able to reach us, the ability to exit to the main road would be almost impossible without disrupting rescue efforts and the personnel's ability to perform life-saving methods due to the jostling from potholes. In closing, what I'm asking for gravel, tar and gravel, millings, pavement, anything to help with our road conditions. I'm asking this board to please stop ignoring all these requests by the residents of Whitetail Avenue. I'm asking this board, how are you going to respond when a family of a loved one stands in front of you, letting you know that a life was lost due to the rescue vehicles not getting to them in time because of the road conditions that you have been asked to help with for over 25 years and done absolutely nothing about? And I have pictures I can submit as well. Thank you. And I invite you all to my house for supper.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shane Presley.
Ms. Presley. Mr. Presley, there you go.
How are you doing?
Good afternoon, sir.
My
Welcome.
name's Shane Presley, and I'm a business owner that does a lot of work here in Pennsylvania County. I would like to ask what the county's plan is for an inspection office in regards to having inspectors who are qualified to do inspections for both residential and commercial work that's being done in the county. My understanding is after this Friday, we won't have an inspector. We'll have an intern inspector and one other inspector, but neither inspector are certified to do inspections. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Who's our next speaker?
That's all.
That's it? Thank you so much. Is anyone here that did not sign up to speak that wants to speak? All right. Now we move to item number 10, hearing, public hearings. Section A, rezoning public hearings pursuant to Article 5, Division 6 of the Pennsylvania County Zoning Ordinance. The Board of Supervisors have been empowered to hear and decide specific zoning issues and zoning map changes in support of said ordinance. And accomplish this important task, the board is responsible for promoting the health, safety, and general public welfare of the citizens of Pennsylvania County. The board must ensure that all of its decisions and regulations be directed to these goals and that each be consistent with the environment, the comprehensive plan, and in the best interest of Pennsylvania County, its citizens, and its posterity. All right, in case number R-25-010.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Ms. Ragsdale was unable to be here, but Mr. Arnold is here to present.
Mr. Arnold,
Yes, sir.
would you go ahead and,
Yes, sir. Case R-25-010, John Geyer, petition to rezone 35.6 acres located on State Road 686, Markham Road in the Bannister Election District from A1 Agricultural District and R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District, to assign one zoning classification to the property. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. On April 1st, 2025, the Planning Commission recommended by a 6-0 vote with no opposition that the petitioner's request be granted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, a representative with HGS LLC is here to represent the petition.
all right, let me get this time here. What is that, 8:12, we open the zoning public hearing. All right, you say there's someone here to represent?
That's my understanding.
Come on down. Anything to add, sir?
My name is Mike Foltz, Hanover County, here representing Mr. Geyer with HGS LLC. No further comments, just here to answer any questions you may have. We're going to put a conservation easement on that property after it's rezoned.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for this gentleman? If not, it is 8:13 and we close the public hearing. All right, I will entertain that motion.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, in case R-25-010, I make a motion to approve the rezoning for 35.60 acres from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to assign a single zoning classification to the property. Mr. Chairman, that is my motion.
Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Is there support for the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. You've heard the motion and the second. Any discussion? No discussion. Please cast your votes. Thank you so much. Motion passes. Your property has been rezoned. All right. All right. Section B, other public hearings. Each person addressing the board under a public hearing shall step up, give his or her name and district, and/or his/her place of residency for non-county citizens in an audible tone of voice for the record, and unless further time is granted by the chairman, shall limit his or her address to 3 minutes. Speakers for a group shall be limited to 10 minutes. Speakers shall conclude their remarks at that time, unless the consent of the board is affirmatively given to extend the speaker's allotted time. Absent chairman's approval, no person shall be able to speak who has not signed up to speak. Let's see, public hearing FY 26-27 through 30-31, secondary 6-year plan. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jay Craddock with the Virginia Department of Transportation. Section 33.2-331 of the Code of Virginia, as amended, requires that the County Board of Supervisors, in conjunction with the Department of Transportation, formulate a 6-year secondary road improvement plan priority list. This is done on a yearly basis. Tonight's public hearing is being conducted for fiscal years 2026 through 2031. The purpose of this public hearing is to receive public comments on the proposed secondary 6-year plan for fiscal years 2026 through 2031 in Pennsylvania County. Let me point out that the 6-year plan is not a construction plan, but rather an allocation plan. In other words, over the next 6 years, we will allocate money to the projects listed towards the construction of those roads. I'll now read the priorities from the draft plan. So this construction season, we have $941,013 allocated to pave the following unpaved roads as rural rustic projects: Hawkins Road, Tucker Road, Almond Road, and Joe Carter Road. And then FY27 or calendar year 2026, we have $828,349 allocated to pave the following roads: Chestnut Lane, Hollyville Drive, Ponderosa Road, Herman Farmer Road, Eddie's Lane, and Mockingbird Road. In the following year, we have $773,708 allocated to pave the first 7/10 of Jasmine Road, coming from Yorkshire, coming from that side, and then Dabney House Road and Farmers Road from Route 892 to Route 606. So not the entire road, but about 0.65 miles of Farmers Road. The next year we have $795,121 allocated to finish out Jasmine Road, pave the rest of it all the way to Smith Mountain Road, and then to pave the first 8/10 of Johnson's Mill Road coming in from Route 938 side. Fiscal year 2030 or calendar year 2029, we have $756,503 allocated to pave Dairyview Road, Rock Creek Road, and Midway Road. All of those roads I just read were already previously on the 6-year plan, so the next ones are the ones that are proposed to be added to the plan for fiscal year 2031. We have $756,551 allocated to pave Spruce Road, Newby Lane, Brown Road, and Berry Road. At this time, we solicit comments from the public concerning this priority list. I would ask that anyone wishing to speak come forward and speak into the microphone so that we can have a clear recording of your comments. Also, please state your name and magisterial district for the record. Let me remind you that this is a public hearing and not a question and answer session. So as to not prolong the hearing for everyone, anyone with questions can reserve them until after the hearing, and I will be happy to discuss them with you at that time. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Mr. Craddock. Any questions for Mr. Craddock? No questions? Thank you so much. Let's see. I will entertain a motion to adopt.
Just checking to see if anyone signed up for the public hearing.
No one signed up.
I didn't think so. All right. So I will still entertain that motion to adopt.
I don't believe the
Chairman.
adoption is on the agenda, just the public hearing today.
Okay. Well, okay, I'm sorry, I misread that. All righty. Thank you, Mr. Craddock,
All right, thank y'all.
and thank you, Mr. Evans. All right, item number 11, any unfinished business? Okay, new business, our FY26 school budget approval. Ms. Vanderhyde, thank you.
Yay, we're finally at the end of our very long process. Our budget process started back in October. You all were presented with a budget that was balanced on April the 15th, 2026. A large portion of that budget is the school budget, so this first motion I need is an approval of the school budget. That school budget totals $132,471,056 and does include a local contribution of $26,370,554. We did hold the public hearing that was required last Tuesday, and this meets the 7-day requirement where it had to lay before you all could vote. So tonight, I'm requesting that you all approve the FY26 budget totaling $132,471,056.
I'll
I'd make
entertain
it.
that motion for the babies.
Be glad to. I'd make that motion.
Is there support for Mr. Ingram's motion?
Second.
Thank you so much. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote, please. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Van Hyde. You want to take care of item B under number 12, though?
Item B is the full county budget. The full county budget was also presented in totality on April 15th, totaling $257,574,766. This does include the amount that you just approved for the schools of the 132. So we are requesting that you all make a formal approval of this budget tonight, and it will become effective, of course, July 1, and this does meet the 7-day requirement of laying over 7 days since your public hearing, which was last Tuesday, May 13th.
Thank you, Ms. Van Hyde. I'll entertain that motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion, make a motion to approve the FY 2026 county budget in the amount of $257,574,766 and resolution number 2025-05-10 as presented. Mr. Chairman, that is my motion.
Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Support?
Second that.
Thank you so much. Any discussion? Gentlemen, cast your votes. Motion passes unanimously. Ms. Van Hyde, thank you. Always a pleasure to work with you and the Finance Committee. All right, there is an item C, which is part of the beautification, Mr. Dudley's district. He's trying to include a young lady.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and I really appreciate you allowing me to insert and add this as item 12C. If you'll notice in our consent agenda, we approved 6 to the beautification committee, but the failure of me to add the 7th one from my district. So at this time, appointment of Judy Simpson to the beautification committee for the Stanton River District. Mr. Chairman, that's my motion. Thank you.
Thanks. Hang on one second. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman Tucker, we'll need a motion to add that item, and
Okay.
then a separate motion to approve
Okay.
that appointment.
Okay. Mr. Bowman.
I'd make that motion to add that to the agenda, please.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Can you also add item D, which is the drinking water for, Robin Court? Thank you.
You want that added now?
Yes, sir.
Also, make a motion to add the modification with the Robin Court drinking water that we discussed earlier.
Second.
Thank you so much, Mr. Height. I appreciate it. So we're going to add item C, Beautification Committee, and also D, Drinking Water for Robbins Court. Let's see. Being no discussion, I ask you to cast your vote.
Split those? Okay, okay.
No, we can vote on the same, but we'll do individual motions. I'm sorry, don't want to get ahead of legal.
Mr. Chairman, it can be combined into one motion to add
Okay.
both those items, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No problem.
Mr. Tucker, can I get your vote verbally?
Yes.
Mr. Dudley?
Yes,
Hung
I
up
made
over
it.
here.
Go ahead.
It is not showing, but it passed 7-0.
7-0. Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. All right, let's deal with the first item to add the young lady from the Stun River District to the Beautification Committee. Give us her name and motion.
Yes, sir.
please.
Mr. Chairman, appointment of Judy Simpson to the Beautification Committee for the Stanton River District. That's my motion.
Support.
So move it.
I'm going to take that as a second, Mr. Bowman. Okay, thank you so much. Movement met with second.
You said it
Any-
wrong. Second it. I'm sorry.
Any discussion?
It's getting late.
All right, if not, cast your votes. Thank you so much. Passes 7-0. All right, very quickly, we're going to task the staff with providing clean drinking bottled water to the residents out there in Robbins Court. All right, since I'm in the chair, would one of my colleagues please help me out here?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
I
sir.
make a motion to approve the supplying of the bottled water for the residents of Robbins Court by the county and for drinking water until their water line is finished.
Thank you, Mr. Height. Can I get some support for the motion?
Second it. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. All right, is there any discussion?
I had one thing.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure what plan you may have for this, but I do want to let you know that God's Pit Crew is very gracious in offering pallets and pallets of water.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
We'll let the staff kind of reach out and figure
Yes, sir.
out the logistics. Thank you. Thank you so much. It passes 7-0. And let me just say this, not only to, I've listened to a lot this weekend, and people, as residents of the county, as elected leaders, and as concerned citizens, it's pretty easy to point out the problems. We need problem solvers. So, let's not point out a problem unless we have a plan of action or something helpful and positive to try to contribute so that we can get the issue resolved or solved. That's all I'm saying. And I told the residents out there at Robbins Court, we want to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And I'm going to still say it and I'm going to preach it. We have to protect our brand as residents of Pittsylvania County. This county has a very positive brand. I want to make sure that we are voraciously protecting the brand of this board. And I want to make sure that you are well represented when we go out into the public, but not only in our travels. Thank you so much. I'm off my diatribe. All right. Let's see. Report from the board members. Mr. Height, got anything for us?
Well, if you
I'm
go
sorry.
say
Whittle or
Mr.
Height?
Height and you go look at Mr. Whittle, but I think we skipped item 13, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Matters from the work session?
We haven't.
There was none.
There was none. I tell you, give this guy a gavel for one day.
I know. I know.
Mr. Hyde.
You're late and you've just been off since then.
Thank you. And I appreciate you covering.
I'd like to thank the staff for all your hard work, getting us on track, making sure we have information we need. I'd like to thank Mr. Shorter for serving as our interim. Appreciate that hard work. Mr. Arnold, I appreciate your work, helping keep us straight right now and on track. On a personal note, I just would like to recognize my son-in-law tonight. My son-in-law is now the Reverend Scott Edgar Slade. This past weekend, I had the privilege of going to Cleveland, Tennessee, and this old Baptist preacher got to go to the Church of God commissioning service for 580 ministers.
Wow.
It was about 2,000 people in that church. 580 ministers were commissioned, anointed, hands laid upon, and prayed over. It made this Baptist preacher do a little shouting. Man, I hope folks didn't hear that too much. But I'd just like to recognize him and my daughter Lindsay in their ministry. They are currently in the state of Michigan, serving as youth ministers, looking forward to what God has in store for their life. And it reminds me, folks, we get caught up sometimes in these meetings and decisions that we make. But in the grand scheme of things, decisions that we make are small compared to the big picture that is for all of us. To love each other, get along with each other, work together. We can always disagree agreeably, and I appreciate this board, the way we can get together and work through things. It's been an honor in this year and a half I've sat here to see the progression, and I look forward to what the good Lord has in store for Pennsylvania County in the future. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Height. Mr. Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A few things. Since we didn't have time to go over any of these accomplishments at the last meeting, if you'll let me have Mr. Whittle's 2 minutes.
You can have mine if you want to.
I'm just playing. So, over the last month, attended Fort Chamber Business After Hours for ribbon cuttings, grand openings, and business hosted by SK Realty in Danville, URW Tight Squeeze, and Eddie, that's a great facility down there. Solex Architecture at Two Witches Brewery and Hardway Pawn and Jewelry in Danville. Participated in the Pennsylvania County-wide cleanup with the American Legion Post 47 here in Chatham. We were able to clean up part of Route 57. Attended the Pennsylvania County Graduate of Merit Awards ceremony. Was honored to sponsor Tilden Wayne Modley of Chatham High School, a great, fine young man, going to Bluefield College in West Virginia this fall. Attended the annual Peace Officers Memorial Services hosted by the Pennsylvania County Sheriff's Office. Another great ceremony over at the Baptist Church here in Chatham. Attended the site signing for Pennsylvania County students participating in the summer internship program and recognizing the employer organizations participating in the program. And if you will allow me, I'll just read real quick from Ms. Jessie Vernon. She is the director of this program. Last week's reception was our largest ever with over 100 attendees. The reception's an opportunity to recognize the Virginia Top Employers for Intern Awards recipients from Region 3. This year, 15 Region 3 organizations received the awards. 6 of these organizations attended and were recognized at the reception last week. Additionally, the reception kicks off the high school summer internship program, bringing together internship host and student interns. The students participate in an employee skills boot camp before beginning their internships at their last sites. Internships will run June the 9th through July 24th. Final internship offers are being currently made, but 7 to 10 Pennsylvania County students should be participating in this summer's program. So it was a great, great event. First time I'd been there was held over at the Institute, and they are having, and if you'll make a note of this, at the end of the summer, an internship breakfast, July the 25th at 8:30 in the morning at the Institute. The Beautification Committee met last night, are making plans as they begin their second year as a committee, having held 2 countywide cleanups, held readings to elementary students about littering, and are in the process of seeking grant funding for billboards and other signs reminding citizens that it is illegal to litter. 6 of the 7 members are returning, and the new person appointed is Sandra Arn, representing the Chatham Blairs District. Congratulations go out to Dr. Jones, Superintendent of Pennsylvania County Schools, on his retirement, and congratulations to Mr. Mayhew as the new incoming superintendent. Thank you to Mr. Shorter for your efforts as the interim county administrator. That is greatly appreciated, and Mr. Arnold for stepping into the breach there, if you will, and carrying on the daily activities. And also, last but not least, Memorial Day is next Monday, and it is observed every year to mourn and honor its deceased servicemen and women. This is not Veterans Day, this is Memorial Day. So for all of those who have gone, the veterans that have worn the uniform and gone before us, thank you for that service and sacrifice. Mr. Chairman, that's all I've got. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We started the clock. You got 2 more minutes. I'm kidding.
Are we going to put timers now on speeches?
Mr. I digress. Mr. Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't have a book, but I do have 2 pages. I went back from our last board meeting, and I want to thank you guys that prayed for me, sent me text messages. I had a very wicked form of pneumonia that almost killed me, as a matter of fact. But I appreciate that, and I'm still alive and kicking. But since our last board meeting, we celebrated what's called National Telecommunicators Week. That is our dispatchers, and they do not get the credit that they so rightfully deserve. They are that faceless voice at the time of need. 18 years ago, we remember the tragedy at Virginia Tech. I hope we all had a wonderful Easter. If Christmas was when love was born, Easter was when they tried to kill it, but it didn't work. I want to congratulate my dear friend Peyton Sellers on win number 60 at the South Boston Speedway. Likewise, Mr. Bowe and I attended the Graduate Merit Program. Debbie and I sponsored Hunter Mills, Rebecca Coffey, and Morgan Curtis. We honored our mothers with Mother's Day. They're truly the ones that make this world go around. I got to brag on my daughter. She is in her doctorate program, but she received, I forget how many years ago, her bachelor's from Ferrum College, and then a master's from University of Nebraska, and now, like I said, she's working on a doctorate degree. We celebrated National Nurses Week, and I'm so proud that I have 7 nurses in my family, 2 of them are ER nurses. We had a wonderful dedication of the Deputy Sheriff Gene McBride Memorial Bridge. Mr. Dalton, thank you for leading the charge on that. That was a very beautiful and fitting ceremony. Of course, last week we honored police officers nationwide with National Police Week, but the 15th of May is always earmarked as National Peace Officers Memorial Day. And after Frankie Betterton was killed, Harold Plaster, the late sheriff, gave me the honor of doing the research and helping work on the memorial process. And through that process, we identified 9 deputies and 2 troopers that had died serving the citizens of this county, so that we will never forget them. I do want to congratulate Dr. Mark Jones in his retirement, and Dr. Mayhew coming in, filling in. Just the other day, Judge David Farrell passed away. I had the honor of working with David when he was in private practice, but he was a good man, a good attorney, and a great judge. He will be missed. I was so pleased to see on YouTube that the Navy and Marine Corps were doing a presentation to an oversight committee in Congress, and they specifically mentioned the ATDM program right here in Danville, Virginia. They talked about a part that could be made here in 19 days that would have taken weeks to build elsewhere. So not only do we have a lot to be proud of as far as that program is that it's all about national defense, and we need it more so now than ever. I do want to regress back to this past Saturday. It was 23 years ago that Frankie Betterton was murdered. Officially, we call it killed in the line of duty, but simply he was murdered. And that was truly my darkest day. We are now in National EMS Week. So thanking the EMS person, quite often volunteers. Mr. Adams, you know that very, very well. And I was saddened by his report that Cascade has done and served so much, but still yet from July of 24 up till here recently, April 25, that the deficit was $33,801.80. So whoever's on the finance committee, I'm going to worry y'all about that one. We need to fix it somewhere or another. And I know the heart of this board, so we just collectively need to work together and fix it. I do likewise want to thank my friend Vince Shorter for his interim. Interim means it's just short term, and like I said, there's always good things on the horizon. Mr. Arnold, thank you, sir, for what you have done. And I close with echoing what Mr. Bowman said about Memorial Day. As several of us here are veterans, Mr. Tucker, myself, Mr. Bowman, but Veterans Day is when we get to be recognized, not Memorial Day. And I have 2 family members that died serving this county. They're the ones that need to be remembered, not living veterans. Anyway, having said that, thank you for the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Dalton.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Tucker. I really ain't got much more to say. I think Mr. Bowman and Mr. Ingram is taking care of all of that. Thank y'all. Y'all stole all of my thunder. No, I just want to thank all the staff and all the citizens that come out tonight. We had a great meeting. I did have opportunity to attend the youth livestock show ahead at ODAC. It's a great program for the young kids. Very, very good program. We have the opportunity to attend it. I strongly recommend it. Keep the Roger Jefferson family in your thoughts and prayers. We lost him a couple of weeks ago, one of the largest dairy farmers in Pennsylvania County. I want to thank Mr. Shorter for your time for interim. I want to thank Mr. Arnold for stepping in and helping us. And also I did attend the Sheriff's Memorial Service, a great service there for the fallen officers. And also the Gene McBride Memorial Bridge that we dedicated in Grutner. Just had a good turnout for that. That was really nice. And with that, everybody be safe going home, and thank you for coming out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Whittle.
What's left? Look, I want to thank the staff, thank the volunteers, the public safety, everybody for what you do for the county. Just thank all y'all. Thank you, Mr. Shorter, for what you did for us. Thank you, Dave, for stepping up. And just tell my wife happy anniversary, and man, this time is good.
Yes, sir, I agree.
Well, everybody have a good Memorial Day.
Thank you, sir. Listen, I've said quite enough tonight, so I just want to recognize one individual tonight that stepped in and stepped up and done a magnanimous job, Miss Holly Kazee. Thank you for pinch hitting as our clerk this evening, so thank you so very kindly. I cannot express how much I appreciate Mr. Shorter and also Mr. Arnold and the heavy lifting that they do with their team. So thank you again. Everyone be safe during the Memorial Day weekend. Mr. Arnold.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't want to take up any more time than necessary, but I do just want to thank the board for entrusting me in this acting county administrator capacity, and got some big shoes to fill following the lead of Mr. Shorter. Gotten to know him much better over the course of the past year. Have a much greater respect for him, and learned a lot and continue to learn alongside him. And just glad to be here to serve the people of this county and work alongside staff. Thank you very much.
Good job. Thank you, sir. Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just briefly, I was struck by Mr. Ingram's reference to the heart of the board. These are good men. They have big personalities and big ideas, but they love the county. And the more time I spend with the members of the board, the more I appreciate the investment they have in their community. And it's a wonderful thing to be a part of.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. And with that, we stand adjourned.